also expressed happiness at vehicles that were distributed to the police force by the governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde. In his remarks, he thanked the governor and assured that the command will continue to do everything possible to ensure Oyo State is safe. The Senate today passed a finance bill which seeks to amend 7 acts of the National Assembly relating to taxes payable in the country. The bill, which seeks an increment of the value-added tax from 5% to 7.5%, also seeks an increment in the company's income tax, customs and excise tax, petroleum profit tax, stamp duties, personal income tax, and capital income tax. The Senate Minority Leader, Ayenaya Abaribe, and Senators Ifeanyi Uba and Gabriel Suswam and Abba Moro, however, raised objections to the bill, saying the increment in taxes would further compound the sufferings and pains of Nigerians. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, today presented certificate of return to the winner of last Saturday's governorship election in Kogi State, incumbent Yahaya Bello and his deputy and running mate Edward Onoja. The Kogi State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor James Apam, said the presentation was in line with the tradition of the commission. Bello had polled a total of 406,222 votes to defeat People's Democratic Party's Musa Wada, who polled 189,704 votes. In a similar development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, presented certificate of return to Bayelsa Governor-elect David Leon and his deputy, Degi. Speaking after receiving the certificate, Leon, who dedicated his victory to the people of the state, whom he said made it possible for him to win the poll, commended the Nigerian Police Force and Department of State Service, DSS, for living up to their responsibilities during the elections. Leon polled 352,552 votes to defeat his closest rival and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Deary, who scored 143,172 votes in the November the 16th governorship poll. The Nigeria Governors Forum on Wednesday rejected the proposed death penalty for hate speech in the bill at the National Assembly. The governors also expressed their readiness to conclude negotiations with labor unions on the implementation of 30,000 naira minimum wage before the December the 31st deadline. The governor spoke at the end of their 7th meeting in Abuja, which was presided over by the vice chairman of the NGF and governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal. Answering questions from journalists, Tambuwal urged the National Assembly to conduct a public hearing on the hate speech bill to aggregate the views of Nigerians.
The National Assembly should hold public hearing on that bill, and the due process of legislation should be followed so that the views of Nigerians, not only the governors, should be well captured on that bill, and they should respect the views of Nigerians in whatever may be the direction of the debate and eventual either passage or otherwise of that bill.
The speakers of the 36 state houses of assembly today urged President Muhammadu Buhari to issue an executive order on the implementation of full autonomy for state legislatures. The call was part of the agenda of a meeting between President Buhari and the speakers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The group also called for the devolution of powers to the states and local governments through a review of the exclusive legislative list. A high court sitting in Kano has nullified the appointment of emirs and creation of 4 additional emirates by Kano State government. In May 2019, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje had assented the bill seeking the establishment of first-class emirates, Rano, Gaya, Karaya, and Bijin in Kano State. Ganduje assented the bill following its passage by the Kano State House of Assembly. Justice Usman